Well, hey guys, I want to show you something today that you've probably not seen before, and I'll tell you why I'm showing it to you. So come with me. All right, I want you guys to look at this. That's one of the things I want to show you. Ride with me a little bit further. So this is a part of the farm that you've not seen before. Let's go to the top of the hill. So the little cabin in the woods is way back there, and I'll try to zoom in. I know you guys have not seen this before, but when we first bought the land, there was nothing here. It was just land. So what we did is the first thing that we did was we started milling lumber because we had to have a place to put some things. So we came over and Tony built the barn. He built it stick by stick of wood. And we have a red tarp right now, and it's just to keep rain and wind out. It's over here. We just hung this tarp up because actually this is a drive-in barn. This is where we housed our tractor before we moved here to the property. So it is built out of sawmill lumber, straight up rough cut lumber from pine trees that we had. Someone cut a bunch of pines, they brought them to us, and we milled them down. And we built this barn. And the reason I wanted you to see this land is because it's going to change. This is the before picture. This land was planted in longleaf pine. Anytime you go to the store and you buy pine straw to put around your lawn or your flower beds, you're buying longleaf pine straw. This was already planted when we bought it, and it was under a contract. And the contract stated that the owner, because the state furnished the pine trees, the owner would have to burn it every 2 years. But the contract was not really honored. And so there was a big deal about the trees being so small. So here's one of them right here. This tree should be a lot bigger than it is. But when we bought the property, the tree was only this tall. So the first thing that we did, we burnt the property off. Or we had the Alabama Forestry Commission to come and burn the property off. They cut fire breaks with their bulldozer and roadways. They did a lot of work. What we're trying to do is to get native grasses that could be easily mowed down, because you can see that there are some weeds and bushes that should not be here in the middle of the pine trees. Because in the future, in 5 years or 4 years, maybe, we will be in the pine straw business, which will bring income to the farm so that it will help to feed the animals. It's that time again. It's the second year. It's rolled around and we are about to burn the property. So what we're trying to do is to get the native grasses to grow, because there were no native grasses here, only weeds. So sage grass or sagebrush is one of the native grasses that we want. And you can see that we have got a pretty good supply of it started. So once it's burnt this time, then maybe there will be more of the native grasses here that we will be able to harvest pine straw and keep the underbrush cut out from under the pine trees. But we have got about 70 acres of nothing but longleaf pine. And let me zoom in so you can just see. And on that hilltop, I kind of showed you the view off of it. It is just, it's gorgeous. It's nothing like it. I'm in love with the farm. There's not a lot more I can say other than God has given us this farm. When we decided that we wanted to farm, we started looking for land, and there was absolutely nothing available. We did go and look at some land that was close to here. It was probably about 30 minutes from here. And we went and looked at it, and basically it was a swamp. And I just asked, where will I put a barn? Where will I put the animals? They'll drown if it rains. And so we decided that property was not for us, but it was the only property available. We had a realtor looking for us some property, and that was it. That was the only property that she knew of at the time in this area. We get in the car, and I looked at Tony and I said, look, God has a special place for us. And I believe that God will just hand it to us. We're just going to drive by the property and it's there it's going to be. So we started home. 5 minutes later, we drove by this property and there was a tiny little for sale sign out front. We stopped, we took a picture of it, we called the guy, and oh my gosh, that was in February. In July, we had talked to this man every 2 weeks, and he could not make up his mind if he wanted to sell it or not. At that point, it was about the last June. So at that point, I went to the property here, and I walked on the property, and I claimed it. I prayed over it, and I claimed it. We closed on it in July. Can't God do it? Here we are, and in the past 2 years, because as soon as we got here was 2 years ago, we burnt the place. Now it's time to burn it again. So in the past 2 years, we have built our homestead. I've got the lazy garden. I've got a greenhouse. I've got a pasture. I've got a barn. I've got roads cut across the property. Another barn that we built. Farming equipment. We get fresh eggs. We've built a bow range. I mean, the possibilities for this land is endless. I get so excited when I come back here. And, you know, there's times you just need some quiet time. Well, I come back here for my quiet time. And the reason for the cabin back there, see it in the woods. The reason for the cabin is for quiet time, for grandchildren, because I'm telling you, the grandchildren came right here and they have climbed in this barn. I've took pictures of them in this barn. We've got an old Bronco 2, and they have driven the Bronco 2. I mean, they're not going to hurt anything, right? It's field roads. But they drive the Bronco 2 and play. They just play. We've got a metal detector. They come over and they find buried treasure. This is what it's about, making memories and teaching the grandchildren and the children how to farm, how to be self-sustainable. I just wanted to show y'all this because I know y'all haven't seen it before, but in a couple of weeks, it's going to look totally different, and I'll just have to show you. I think I'll bring you with me while it's burning. So when I say the farm is on fire, don't get excited. It's on purpose. Y'all farm on.